Sir David Amess, and to Peter Hall, our new director, and to Stanley for a wonderful speech, and to everybody being here today. Thank you so much for coming here on this very important issue of animal welfare, which is, you know, a concern for most of the public and all of us here tonight. So I want to thank you for all being here today. But I especially want to thank Sir David Amess for speaking out for the voiceless for the last 36 years as a Conservative MP. You've always been, and yes, along with Roger Gale, so we all follow in your footsteps. So thank you so much for all you've done, because you set the example for all of us here today. So we couldn't be here without you, with all your kind support, and I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Anyway, and like I said, I want to thank Carrie and Elise for being here and all the fantastic work they do as well to advance animal welfare. Now this weekend we had wonderful announcements for animal welfare, as Carrie has already mentioned, which shows that the government has put animal welfare at the heart of the domestic agenda, which will protect farm animals, wild animals, and domestic animals. And this is fantastic news ahead of World Animal Day on the 4th of October. So we're really delighted about this. And also we're delighted that some of the animal welfare proposals in our Conservative Animal Welfare Manifesto have been carried forward for consultation. Now these include an end to live animal exports, an end to trophy hunting exports, the introduction of microchipping for cats, and a ban on pet primates. I mean, nobody should have a primate as a pet. It's totally inappropriate, and it's not suitable at all. No welfare there for the primates. Now, right now, protesters around the world are speaking out on the environment, and they're making a stand on the escalating climate crisis. The climate emergency is the defining issue of our time, but people are also speaking out to protect our natural world, our endangered species, and so they should, because we've already lost half the animals on the planet since 1970, denying future generations the hope of ever seeing some of the species that we take for granted, all out of our own greed and inaction. Poachers slice off the horns of live rhinos. I mean, this is just so cruel. Militia groups use helicopters to shoot down elephants for their tusks. Factory farmers breed captive tigers to marinate tiger bones for wine. Future generations will condemn us if we don't take more action now to stop this despicable madness and obscene cruelty. We have a moral obligation to protect vulnerable species for future generations. We are delighted that our Prime Minister, Boris Jonson, recently announced a £220 million biodiversity fund to protect habitats and endangered animals. This is wonderful news. Everyone here tonight cares about the living, breathing beings around us who share our planet, and that includes surely the billions of farm animals that are reared for food each year. In our age, we have seen the increasing spread of industrial farming. Intelligent, sentient beings are crammed into squalid cages and crates in dark sheds, hidden away in the countryside, unable to exhibit their natural behaviours, unable to see the sun, feel the wind, or a blade of grass beneath their feet. They are routinely subjected to mutilations, including beak trimming, teeth clipping, tail docking, dehorning, and castration. Some farm animals endure embryo transfer procedures. Surely it is unjust to treat these animals as less worthy of our empathy, compassion, and respect that we share for our companion animals. They are all capable of suffering. We need change now on this massive scale of suffering on industrial intensive farms. Brexit provides us with opportunities to advance farm animal welfare and reward farmers who adopt higher welfare systems. Public money for public goods. We must end cruel intensive cages for farm animals, end painful routine mutilations, and provide higher welfare free-range conditions. We must protect UK farmers from lower welfare imports, and there must be no lowering of our current standards in the pursuit of trade deals. We say no to the import of chlorinated chicken and no to hormone-injected beef. Now, the UK banned cruel veal crates, sow stalls and fur farms years ago, and it's now time to end live animal exports for slaughter and, as Nick said, for fattening. This is important. It is unnecessary It is unnecessary and deeply cruel to subject weeks-old calves, many of them are unweaned, and gentle sheep to long, stressful journeys, to inhumane systems such as veal crates, which are banned here in the UK. And also sheep are taken for slaughter as soon as they arrive after these long, stressful journeys. We also call for method of production labelling to show how farm animals are reared so consumers can make an informed choice. Now, our director, Peter Hall AM, will talk about this shortly. Now, there is speculation that we may expect a general election soon. So with this in mind, we put forward a blueprint with 30 animal welfare proposals to be considered for the party manifesto. Our latest proposals include our continued call for animal sentience to be enshrined in UK law when we leave the EU. And also, we would like an end to the badger culls. We want an end to fair imports, furry gras imports, snaring, as Stanley talked about, and also much more. And we come back to the action we can all take. We don't all have to take to the streets with placards. We can actually do things to protect our planet and animal welfare right now in our own homes by the choice we make every day with our diets. We can choose higher welfare produced meat and dairy. We can choose free range eggs and we can shun eggs produced from the poor hens and animals incarcerated in the misery of cramped cages. We can support the UN objective to reduce meat consumption to help our planet. A report from the United Nations adds to the increasing number of calls from scientists in recent years that drastic changes to the world's diet are needed in a bid to stop global warming. The report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says switching to plant-based diets could both free up land and reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Now, we've all seen how precious rainforests in the Amazon have been cleared to make way for lucrative cattle pastures. Burning is commonly used to clear trees quickly, and we've all watched in horror as wild animals have fled for their lives and have lost their ancient habitats, all just so more cattle can be produced instead. Now, we all have to stop and take stock of what is going on around us. And each and every one of us has a responsibility and a duty to help leave our planet in a better condition for those generations that follow us, because it is the right thing to do. Thank you.